Brandon Ingram headed north. The Pelicans are sending him to the Toronto Raptors in exchange for Bruce Brown Jr., Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick, which is top 4 protected by way of the Pacers in 2026, and 1 second-round pick. Brandon Ingram going to Toronto. What do you think, Task? I'll start with you, the Raptors fan here.
Well,
do you like this or not?
They love double-doubles in Canada. We love our double-double coffees. This is another double down. Another one. It was just a mere year ago where Masai Ujiri said, okay, in you come RJ Barrett, in you come Emmanuel quickly to pair along with Scotty Barnes. We just haven't seen them all on the floor together. Right. They go into the offseason, they say, Emmanuel quickly, here's your cash. 5 for $175, a monstrous contract. Sure. He has not played this year. And now they're basically, I say double-double, they're quadrupling down. Your new 4 here, it's Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel quickly, RJ Barrett, and Brandon Ingram, that they are going to sign a big money term deal to. He's a free agent this offseason, but they didn't friggin' trade a 2016 or 2026 first-round pick plus Kelly O and Bruce Brown for a rental. They are going to sign him for a long-term deal. It is risky. I would have loved to see those first 3 guys I said play together because we still haven't. I know at the end of possessions, Scotty Barnes is looking for a guy who can shoot the ball and make it happen all on his own, to create all on his own. That's Brandon Ingram when he's healthy. I don't want to talk about his health, but it is a problem throughout his friggin' career here. It is amazing. He is still just 27. It feels like he's been around the league forever.
2016 draft, actually.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That's why I put that on the board.
Yeah, so he's played 9 years, and he looks super duper young when he's out there because he can't take a team on his back. That being said, we just need to see it. There's hope. I suppose there is hope, but this is your top 4 guys here. And we just haven't seen it. You
don't sound pumped.
No, I don't sound pumped because, in all honesty, I was extremely pumped to see Emmanuel Quickly's ceiling. We haven't seen that at all. He just hasn't played. RJ Barrett signed to another 2 years. Scotty Barnes signed to his max deal. Brandon Ingram is going to be matched with a 4-year deal, I imagine. Something big. He's only 27.
That's a big question.
So we have questions all over the place.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett's had a decent year. Scotty Barnes had a decent year. But they need some guys to end possessions, and he definitely helps that. He's still a talented guy. There's no doubt about that.
He is a scorer. He's I mean, that's the thing, is Masai Ujiri sort of like buying low here? Like, does he because of the contract extension stalled talks between the Pelicans and Ingram, and they obviously move him. Has Masai sort of scooped in here and maybe got a guy, and we'll see what type of contract he signs with the Raptors. That to me is I'm like, I can't even grade this yet because it's like, what is it? Can they get him cheap?
Big.
Can they get him 3 years, $120 million, $40 million per? Then it's not brutal, but if it's more than that, you start going, oh boy. And then you're like, my God, Barnes, Ingram, RJ. That's quickly. Then Pirtle's the 5th starter. Some young, talented guys off the bench, including Grady Dick, but I don't know. That's not an amazing team to me. I'm worried about them defensively still. I like a guy that could score at the end of games, maybe get him a bucket, but you got to be in games for that to matter. That's where I'm trying to talk this through as a Raptors fan.
I don't know what Masai is cooking. I've looked in the pot, and it's something I don't recognize.
No. Yeah.
What is it? What is he doing? The Raptors are 29th in three-point shooting, and they're adding another guy who needs the ball and mostly plays in the mid-range. Brandon Ingram, to me, is very similar to DeMar DeRozan, a little bit taller DeMar DeRozan. Mm-hmm. This is also, I think, would be pitched as a win-now move. They did trade a first-round pick for an all-star to try and get better this season. I think they're in 13th place right now. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I don't really know what the Raptors are doing, especially because Ingram just is so duplicative to RJ Barrett, to Scotty Barnes. They all play very similar styles. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
And if you wanted this kind of a player, why not just keep Siakam?
Oh, well, yeah. In essence, Toronto traded Siakam plus a second-round pick for Ingram, Ochai Agbaji, and the 1 first-rounder they kept from this trade, which they used on Jacoby Walter. That's sort of how it all evens out.
Ingram much younger, of course.
Yes, yes, but I do hear you on... No, not near... No, he's not. And he's always injured, too. This is the part. I mean, he's injured right now. He's got a lower left ankle sprain. Significant injury there. And he's dealt with nagging injuries his entire career.
He has.
So there's that part of the equation. But he is talented. It's perplexing. I'm with you. It was like, I'm like, man, I wish this was Zach LaVine instead. I think he would fit what they need as a shooter more. Now, I know he's got a contract, but we might be looking at that type of contract with Ingram. So that's, again, the big question mark to me.
It's many questions. I think Masai is looking at this roster and still wondering what he has, because they went and got Emmanuel quickly that they went and signed a monster deal too. Haven't seen it. and then they're going to – and I was excited, quite frankly, about Barnes, Quickly, and Barrett. Now you have Brandon Ingram, who's also going to get a long-term deal, who is a very, very good offensive player from 10 feet and beyond. He's shooting 48%. That's a very good number. He's shooting decent from three this year as well, 37%. He is shooting more and more threes, even though he is not that type of guy.
Yeah.
I think they're going to ask him to do that.
Totally.
And he's gotten better at it. There's no doubt. I just wish they played. I wish they played. I just want to see this. So those four, plus Jakob Pearl. You mentioned Ochai Agbaji, who I think is a huge win in that Utah trade where they got Kelly Olynyk along with him for a first-round pick that turned into Isaiah Collier. That was a great move. Ochai Agbaji's been a great player. 3-point shooting guy. He's a great 3-and-D kind of guy on a good team. As soon as they're good, we're all going to say Ochai Agbaji's awesome because he's a little undersized. That being said, we just haven't seen a very good team in front of Ochai Agbaji. The pecking order just ain't working at this point.
Yeah, so Kelly Olynyk goes instead of Chris Boucher, who a lot of people thought might be moved, maybe will be moved today ahead of the deadline, but Kelly Olynyk gets paired with Bruce Brown for this Ingram move.
And that's money-wise, because Olynyk was guaranteed money next year, and now they got off that money.
I guess Masai and the Raptors are like, because we're about to start Scotty Barnes' 5-year, $225 million contract extension. That could go up if he makes All-NBA. He won't, so it's going to be that. Quickly, like you said, 5 year of his $175 million. I'm talking about next season, whatever Brandon Ingram is. He's like, this is our roster. Like, we got to just be more competitive. And he sees BI as an answer to that. I mean, I hope he's right, but it has whiffs of Rudy Gay.
100%.
Yes.
He has an arms fetish, Masai does.
He does.
If he sees long arms, he wants you on the team. It doesn't matter, and nothing else matters. Do your arms go almost to your knees? Come to Toronto, please. It's basically what it's going to be. It seems unlikely that there's a path to the top for the Raptors with this crew.
Yeah. The scary part is when they sign Ingram to that deal this offseason, it's going to happen. His and Quickly's may not be tradable. I would assume Scotty Barnes still is.
Yeah.
Because Scotty's a damn good player.
Yeah.
And RJ's is only 2 years. Anyways, I don't want to look into the future and say, whoa, these guys are tradable. I would love to see them put on their shorts and their jersey and play basketball. We just haven't.
Right.
And so we haven't seen how good Emmanuel Quickly is.
True.
Blame Darius Garland, game 1 of the season. Got under him on a rebound, and he fell down. And so we just haven't seen how good he is.
Scotty is the future for this team, right? We all agree on that.
Yes.
He's their cornerstone right now. What kind of players do you want to put around him? Because I don't think it's Brandon Ingram.
No, I don't
and
either.
I think you would agree, right? You don't want another guy who's handling the ball. You want better outside shooters who are used to playing off the ball.
Yep.
Like Grady Dick is probably a better fit in the 2-3 zone than Brandon Ingram is alongside Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
I
will say this, like, there's a lot of like, what are the Raptors doing? We're going to be too good now. I thought we were tanking. I thought we were going for flag. I wouldn't like freak out. I don't think
Brandon Ingram teams are usually in the play-in or the lottery.
Right.
Oh, he's still injured.
And he's injured.
Exactly.
So he matches up.
So don't worry. Like, if that's your concern, it's a little weird. Like, they're right now currently with the 5th best, I guess is the way to put it, odds to get the number 1 pick, like a 10.5% chance of the number 1 pick. Who's right ahead of them? The Nets are right there. So yeah, maybe they jump them. But then it's like your Philly, your Bulls, your Blazers who are red hot, you're hot. Like, my point is the Raptors are going to have a 14% chance to about a 9% chance at hitting flag. That's not going to change much.
Does he play like a similar position to any of these guys?
Yeah, well, yes, that's weird.
Hey, he's got long arms. He's 6'9".
Yeah.
Masai's interested.
Hey, okay, maybe a part of this.
Ingram's too short. Ingram is too short for this team. He's 6'8". If only it was 6'9".
6'9", yeah, we'll add that inch. If maybe the galaxy brain thinking here for Masai is buy low, build up his trade value, sell high on Ingram. Yeah. That's possible. Again, especially if it's like a really reasonable contract that they sign him for in the summer here. That to me is the key. It can't be massive. It's if they get him on like almost a discount. Guy was an all-star. He is a good player. I know it seems like we're just crapping on Brandon Ingram. He is good. He has skill in this league. Maybe that's a thinking. To then, when you have your pick, you have some young guys on the bench, it's around Scotty, it's still, you hope to get quickly back, and then you flip Brandon Ingram down the line for other pieces.
I hear what you're saying, because it seems like there are hungry teams out there that are just looking for their next guy. We've just seen all these NBA players traded in this last few days. There will be teams hungry in the offseason that don't get a free agent. There will be. There's no doubt. On the other side, this could be a flashback for Toronto Raptors fans seeing, you said he plays like DeMar DeRozan. They also asked DeMar DeRozan to shoot more threes. That didn't happen. They will ask Brandon Ingram to do that, but he has been doing that this season. He's been playing off Zion Williamson, the point guard, and shooting 6.5 threes per game. The numbers are good. They are efficient at 37%. And so Scotty is that point guard. He ain't Zion Williamson, but he is sort of that point guard in the mid-range, and he's a great passer, and that's what we're going to see from this team. If they ever play basketball, that's the weird part, because Ingram and Quickly still – they remain injured. Those two.
Do you have any thoughts from the Pelicans side of things here? I mean, they, of course, move off of a guy who was there for a long time and was an all-star. Didn't play a whole lot, unfortunately, with Zion Williamson. I forget how many total games he even got out there. It's not a lot. But...
0 with DeJounte Murray and Zion this season. They got something for him. They got a first-round draft pick. This is buy low for the Raptors, so not a great return for the Pelicans. But there was basically no market for Brandon Ingram. He'd been on the trade block since the summer. Nothing happened. And I don't know. Maybe the Kelly Olynyk, Zion Williamson pairing is nice. Zion's never played with a stretch 5. Kelly Olynyk is like the replacement level stretch 5 of the NBA. So we'll see what it looks like when he comes off the bench for Misi.
Do you think Kelly Olynyk already is wearing a backwards Pelicans hat?
That's the first thing they give him.
Totally.
Not even a jersey.
No,
you're gonna want this.
Here's your hat. Put on backwards.
He puts on that hat. He goes and eats some seafood in New Orleans at those restaurants. Cracks some crabs. He will have some fun. That 2026 Indiana draft pick. That's what it is. It's not a Toronto Raptors pick. And it's a fine pick. It ain't gonna be an excellent pick.
Anywhere between 10 and 20 probably.
Yeah, how dare you disrespect the Pacers?
Okay. Back to the back.
20ish. It's gonna be in the 20ish.
Yeah, I think in the late teens, but sure.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyways,
you're right.
It's a fine get.
Okay.
It's a fine get.